Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Measure. In this channel, we talk about everything related to quantity surveying or future quantity surveyors. In today's video, we're going to be covering up what a contractor is and what are their roles, responsibilities, any kind of obstacles that they have to go through, what are the type of opportunities that you guys have, maybe the personal growth of a contractor, and I hope this video is helpful for you guys. First of all, what is a contractor quantity surveyor? A contractor quantity surveyor manages a construction project's costs, risks, and quality of the construction firm. They work on behalf of the contractor, overseeing the subcontractors and as well as other specialities. I'm going to split this video into 5 sections about the contractor quantity surveyor. And the first one will be about their roles, the key roles of a contractor QS. Then it will be about their responsibilities. Then later on, I'll talk about their career path development that they have, the skills they need for those, and finally, the challenges that a contractor quantity surveyor might face during their career. All right, let's get into it. First, the key roles of a contractor QS. The first 3 things are: 1, they have to manage the cost and the quality of the project at all times from the initiation to the final section. 2, they have to take care of all the contract details, the documentations on their side, on the contractor's side of the project. And 3, they have to make sure that they're handling their financiality and their profitability as well, along from the initiation itself, and maintain a knowledge of how the flow is going. So now we know what a contractor QS is. He's basically someone like the consultant QS, but he does all the work for the contractor instead. Now, let's go on to the responsibilities that a contractor QS will face. Let me explain this through the process of a project. First up, we have the tendering procedure. A contractor QS only gets involved into the project once the tender is out to the open to bid on. So once the tender is started, the contractor QS will take the bid document from the consultant side and they will go through that document. That's the first thing that they're responsible for. They have to analyze through the specifications and the BOQs provided and make sure they are tendered properly and all the estimations are done properly. And the next thing that they also have to do is make sure the submission is on time, in proper manner, with all the requirements fulfilled. In this procedure is when a contractor QS has to make sure that they're bidding with a competitive amount. But it shouldn't be too obvious or too heavily equipped with cost, because the client's job or the consultant's job to advise the client is to make sure that they select the correct bidder, make him the contractor to make sure the project is not over budgeted or under budgeted. If the amount of the project is estimated too low, it might be suspicious for the client and he might think that the contractor will actually flunk it over. If the project cost is too high, the client might think, why is this so high? If it's so high, even with the estimation, during the process, it might get higher, therefore not select you as the contractor. So it has to be very precise. There has to be analytical skills implied here to make sure which amount or which range of amount for the estimation is correctly done with the best quality. Now in Sri Lanka, the clients have a habit of selecting the lowest bidder, which is not always right. So as a client, if you're watching this as a client, make sure that you select a contractor with a proper price range, not too low, not too high, and he has an idea of what he's doing or what the quality that he's planning to bring. Now, once the contractor is actually selected, there will be a series of meetings and negotiations where they discuss all these things to get the contract done. And once that's done and once that's discussed, we can move on to the construction stage. And here, once the construction is in procedure, a contractor's QS's work is to make sure that they're always at the site or making site visits regularly to monitor what is happening at the site itself. And here at the site, a contractor QS's job is to make sure that they're coordinating with their teams, making sure that the materials are on track and in progress and maintained in a proper manner, making sure the payments are made regularly and with proper procedure, and making sure that the time and the cost of the project is on schedule. Then the contractor QS's job is to make sure that the valuation and the payments are done accordingly. One of the main tasks of a contractor QS is to provide the IPA. interim payment application. It's the job of a contractor QS to make the IPA and submit it to the consultant. This has to be done in an interim method, but at the same time, a contractor QS has to make sure these works are actually done at the site, because it's all the cost that they have to get for the company to run. And of course, as the payments go, he has to make sure the retentions are properly accustomed to and the advance payments are being paid off, and as well as the final documents in the final stage of the project. Finally, one of the main things that they have to make sure is from the initiation of the construction to the final stages itself, they might have to handle variations, claims, and other payment related issues. So for this, they have to make sure when the variations are happening, if there's any changes in the scope, they have to identify it, make sure that they are negotiating and submitting any variations to the consultant side and negotiating with them to make an understanding of why the variation has happened, and make sure to submit any kind of applications for delays and in need of extension of time or any extra cost, because the project finishing on time is the goal, but due to unforeseen circumstances, it might be delayed, and there must be reasoning provided for the client on why that is. Now let's move on to the skill sets that a contractor QS should have. Now, you have to realize the main differences between a contractor QS and a consultant QS may vary, but their skill sets is pretty much the same. When we're studying to become a contractor QS or a consultant QS, we do not study as a contractor QS degree and a contractor QS degree. We study it together. So a skill set from a quantity surveyor as a student, it should provide the basic skill sets for a contractor QS and a consultant QS. So first, yes, the analytical skills and the technical skills of any quantity surveyor, from what they've studied to what they're improving on regarding the construction project and regarding the process from the initials to the final stage. Second is very important. I haven't emphasized it enough on all my videos so far, but negotiation and communication skills. A contractor QS should be able to communicate with all the stakeholders in his project to be able to run this whole process smoothly regarding the budget and the costing. And he has to make sure that he can negotiate with all the consultants and even the client himself on why every decision is made. And it's very important that a contractor QS knows his way around software. And of course, as I've mentioned before, software like AutoCAD, Costex, Bluebeam, Cubic Cost, PlanSwift, and all this BIM related software. Now let's get on to the fourth section of our video, and that is career development and the growth that you might have as a contractor QS. As soon as you've graduated or you have the necessary degrees or any kind of qualifications to become a contractor QS, you can join any firm as a contractor QS with the knowledge of experience, or you can start from assistant, junior, and then go on to the average level and then the senior level. Kind of depends on how much you're providing for the company and how well you are doing your skills regarding the projects. So once you've leveled up to that, you can even have your firm if you wish as a contractor or a project manager, because a QS can, once you've studied QS, you can vary into different fields, or you can go for any local companies or even international opportunities with what your goal in life is. But I urge you not to stop there. There are qualifications further than a degree to make sure that you are improving yourself in the career path. Certifications like RICS, the IQSSL, maybe the AIQS if you're relating based on the countries around the world. These certifications will boost your career level and your level in the hierarchy of a contractor QS. Now let's move on to the challenges that are faced by a contractor QS. There are three main challenges that I'd like to mention in this video. All of them are based on the basic structure of a project, and that's the cost, time, and quality. So the contractor QS has to make sure the cost is not overrun and it's within the budget at all times to make sure that he can provide a quality service to the client. The second thing is to make sure that they are handling and negotiating the disputes and conflicts properly. There will be some regarding the quality, the cost, the time of the project, so a contractor QS has to be able to face those challenges themselves. And finally, the third pressure that they will have is on the deadline. A contractor QS has to make sure that he's able to finish the project on time, because the whole system has a level of timeline from start to finish. And rarely do they ever finish on time because of all the issues that they face regarding the cost, the quality, and the time. So this is a sector that if you're going to be a contractor QS, you should actually try to perfect. Try to make sure that the projects are done on time and you meet all the deadlines. And finally, we have come to a summary of what a contractor QS is. You know who they are, their roles, their responsibilities, the challenges that they face, and the skills they need, and even the career path that you can take as a contractor QS. I hope this video was very useful for you. If you haven't checked out my consultants, and if you maybe want to be a consultant, go check out that video, and I'll see you in the next one.